What are some cheat codes you've found in the game of life? Walk with a purpose. For some reason, people think you're busy and you don't get hassled. Reminds me of George on Seinfeld when he acts like he's always annoyed so everyone assumes he's working hard. He leaves his car at work so people think he never leaves lol. Makes a secret nook under his desk for work naps. George is an inspiration. Also, equip a lab coat and clipboard and act like you belong. You can suddenly go wherever you want. A group of mates and I stole a table from our college doing that once. There was a sign-in desk at the front of the student center where you had to scan your ID to enter. I walked in with 4 guys in matching shirts behind me. And I was carrying a clipboard. We walked straight past the person at the desk. I pointed out a table and jotted some scribble down. They packed up one of the tables. And walked out. Never got questioned. It's amazing how much you can do if you carry yourself like you're supposed to be there. Also carry 2 full sacks. That way if anyone asks for help, say, sorry, I have these sacks. No one stops a guy or girl carrying a pizza. It can get you backstage to concerts. I'm a pizza guy. The only people that stop me are the stingy old people who won't let me go into the apartment building as they come out because that's the rules and I have to be buzzed in. Did you try carrying a clipboard too? Just in case. My dad worked as a line mechanic and kept his hard hat into management in his trunk. I asked him why, and he said, you can go anywhere with a hard hat and a tie. Also, I delivered pizzas. And although I never delivered to a concert, security was incredibly lax when I needed access to areas that were restricted. There was actually a delivery though. So deliver pizzas in a hard hat and a tie. Got it. I've always wondered, what exactly do you do once you get backstage? Eat the pizza. Take a $1 bill and flip it over. Now tape a $5 bill and tape it to the end of the upside down single with as little tape as possible to make it secure. Now feed the $5 bill into a change machine. The coin machine reads the 5. Gives you quarters, then reads the upside down single. Rejects that. And boom. You got yourself a felony. This is the caliber of post I was expecting. Actual cheat codes. Not be nice to your family and surprise. They won't hate you, thank you. Unethical life pro tips. I'm glad I didn't know about this as a teen. I would have done it till I got caught. Now I'm like, I'm not gonna be a 31-year-old dude who catches a felony over $5 in quarters. My friends would never let me hear the end of it. I am an assistant teacher in a preschool. Asking if kids can use their sitting muscles and listening muscles during circle time makes the kids want to show me how strong they are. All good and well until some kid flexes their sitting muscles too hard and suddenly you've got a poopy pants emergency. My first school had the concept of different hats. So if you were told to put your listening hat on, you would pretend to put a hat on and it was time to listen. Worked a dream. It's all fun and games until someone puts on their wizard hat. If you are punctual, smartly dressed, and quite friendly, you can actually get pretty far in most jobs without being that good at anything or trying very hard. This so much. Nobody cares if the guy who is 15 minutes early every day and never causes a fuss is seen taking a few smoke breaks or browsing Reddit a few times. But the guy who is 5 minutes to 15 minutes late a few days every week. You can guarantee HES being watched like a hawk. Not just jobs, but being punctual for anything appointments, dates, meetups, events. I honestly get stressed if I'm not at least 15 minutes early to anything I need to go to. Especially if I'm traveling with someone who chronically won't start getting ready until the last minute. Louise. A boss of mine once said you can either be good at your job and unfriendly and a pain to work with, or you can be bad at your job and great to work with, but you can never be both bad at your job and unfriendly. Being friendly and good to work with is a massive skill that can really help you progress. If you're gonna be an asshole, you better have a damn good reason for it. Add to that honest, I learned that if you don't know something, better not bullshit the other person in case they know you are bullshitting them. I prefer to be honest and say, I don't know. I have to check, or something in that manner. Also, boasting about your mad skills is never really helpful most of the time. I work in an office environment, and usually when I answer people's questions and find answers, they always ask me how I can remember all that. I am very honest with that and show them how to look for the answer or give them tricks to pinpoint their problems. I don't know how to help text to a button in Word. I just know where to look for something like that. When someone says something true, say, "You're right." Not, "I know." It'll make them feel better and you've still shown everyone how awfully clever you are. "I love you. You're right." Works every time. Fucking Han Solo's biggest missed opportunity. And the opposite of that is the Socratic method. When someone says something you think is wrong, ask them questions to see why they believe. There's two possible outcomes. They end up explaining it via some contradiction or ridiculous assumption. And the belief probably was wrong. And getting them to explain it increases the chances they'll actually change their mind. They actually do explain it. It makes sense. And I learn something new. Either way, it's important to remember that a good definition of rational is trying to prove yourself wrong. If we want to make smart choices and have accurate beliefs, we have to challenge ourselves and at least try to weed out all the wrong beliefs before they become dumb choices. You're right. Shucks, thanks. If any website offers a percentage coupon code like 10% off, try higher values like 20% off. They often have them. Yeah, I'm going straight for 100% off and working my way down from there. Try 200% off and see if they'll actually pay you to take their product. Also, if you leave something in your cart and give your email address, they'll usually send a coupon. I got 30% off my bed and 60% off my art this way. You just have to unsubscribe later. If you tuck a chicken's head under its wing and wave the chicken in a circle, it will automatically fall asleep. It's not a very good cheat code, but it's still a cheat code to get you sleeping chickens. What do you mean by wave in a circle? Bring it around town. Reminds me of a video I saw of a farmer that knew a certain chicken language to make them all hide under a tree. You don't have to always give away the recipe. By that I mean, don't over-explain yourself. If you can't do something 9/10 times, it's okay to simply say, "Unfortunately I'm not able to do that. Can't swing it this time," etc. You don't have to go on and on about why. Or make up reasons and list them off. Over-explaining just ends up looking more suspect than simply being clear and concise. I like this one. I have found myself making up elaborate stories to explain why I couldn't attend an event or something. Just be brief, honest, and to the point. "Sorry, I'm not gonna be able to make it to your party because of my crippling social anxiety." This was a hard lesson for me. I'd like to add to this that no is a complete sentence. Offering reasons for not doing it are often an opportunity for the other person to decide if your reasons are good enough. You become the people you surround yourself with. Guess I'm a nobody. You can control the heartless though. A pretty wise ex-drug user I worked with once told me, "If you hang around the barbershop long enough, eventually you're going to get a haircut, basically. Watch the crowd and the activities you surround yourself with." Damn, that's surprisingly deep. I mentally went through all of my hobbies just now and realized I picked up most of them because someone close to me influenced me into trying them out. This is the biggest one for me. I've seen too many smart kids go down the wrong path just because they hung out with idiots. Inversely, I've seen idiots become pretty successful just because they hung around encouraging smart kids. I cannot overstate how much dressing well and being well groomed will impact your life. It'll drop the difficulty by 2 or 3 levels. No joke. People will treat you vastly differently. The opposite is also true. I found as a fat guy, that no matter how well dressed and groomed you are, people will always treat you a few levels less than if you were skinny. It's like, base me, 7. Well dressed, +1. Well groomed, +1. Obese, -3. Gotta be a tad more funny than AVG if you're a fat guy to overcome the handicap. Compliment your children with, "You are a hard worker," and not, "You're smart." Studies show that kids who think they're hard workers outperform kids who think they're smart. Can confirm. Was told I was smart as a kid. Terrible worker. If you weren't told you were smart as a kid, would you still be a terrible worker? That is the real question. This is growth versus fixed mindset. For those wishing to investigate further. And it is rock solid legit science. Ask questions. About everything. Ask people about themselves. Be open about stuff you don't understand. And ask questions about that. When you forget someone's name, own up to it and just ask them. I am amazed at how many people won't acknowledge even a tiny amount of ignorance. Or won't show honest curiosity about something. Can't admit they've forgotten something they feel is important. And won't ever ask for help. Guys, your life becomes so much easier if you just drop the fucking ego and ask. The best advice I ever received was from my grandmother. I was a talkative child and would ask questions non-stop. When I apologized for asking so many, one day she looked me straight in the eye and said, "Never stop asking questions." This is diametrically opposite from my experience as an inquisitive child. As an adult, you can tell almost any kid who is running to stop running and they will. Man, you know way better kids than I do.